Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video we are going to create a program. So before that, first you want to link your CSS and JavaScript. Now let's start. First we want to create our game board. So it's 9x9 board we are going to create, and we have 81 divs inside our board. So let's create that. So first let's create our grid and div and class name grid. Again grid. Inside the grid we are going to create our 81 divs. Okay, so div, and this is our first div, and I'm going to copy div, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Now we want another 9. Yeah, another 9. And now we want our log. So our log left and log right, and this is our log left. So our class again log left, and I'm going to copy this and paste all over here. 1 2. Yeah, and now we need our log right, and I'm going to copy this and set up this all by using Control D, and I'm changing into log right. Okay, now we need another 18 divs. Okay, yeah, and now we want to create our road. So I'm going to copy this, and here paste this and change this name to our car left. Okay, and we also want our car right. Yeah, right. Okay, and now we are going, now we need our another 18 divs. Okay, yeah, and here we need a starting block. So class starting block, and here we need a ending block, class end block, to check our win condition. And now we are going to our CSS to style our game. So before that, we don't need this, and here our class name starting block. Okay, and now let's call our class name grid, and I'm giving a width 180 px and a height 180 px, and our display is flex, and flex wrap is wrap. Okay, now we also need a border. Well, border is 2px solid black. Yeah, and now we want to set the height and width to our div inside our grid. So let's get that. We need our grid, and let's call our div all divs, and I'm giving a width 20px and a height 20px. Okay, now let's check that. Yeah, now we have our 81 div squares. Okay, and now we want to make our log left and log right. So let's set our log left and log right. So log left, our class name, and log right. Okay, sorry. Yeah, and I'm giving a background color of light blue. Yeah, and this is our log left and log right. And now let's state our car left and car right. Car left, and car, right? Yeah, and I'm giving a background color gray, and okay, yeah, yeah, okay, and now we need our starting block. This is our starting block and our end block. So let's call our starting block block and give a background color blue. Yeah, and I'm creating an end block and giving a background color red. Yeah. Okay, now we are going to create our class name frog. So frog, and I'm giving a background color green. Yeah, and before we are going to JavaScript, we want to make our result and our timer. So let's create here h1, head1, and result, and write a span, and I'm giving a class name result. Okay, and here another heading one, and I'm giving our time, and I'm giving a span. Okay, span, and give a class name time. Okay, and now let's go to our JavaScript, and first we want to bring all our grid and all our divs. So let's create a variable squares and document dot query structure all our grid, class name grid, and div. So let's take that console.log our squares. Yeah, you can see now all our div and our class names are shown here. Okay, now let's create a variable for our results and a variable for our time, and let result is equal to document dot query structure our class name result, and our time is document dot query structure our time, and let's create a variable called timer. Our timer is 60 seconds, and let's create a variable called current index for our frog, and 76. I'm giving 76. I think our starting block is 76, and now let's create a variable width, and our width is 9 because we have our 9 squares in one row. Okay, and now let's create a function move frog to move our frog. So function move frog, and until an event. Okay, and instead that we are writing our conditions to move our frog, and I am writing it in the if condition, so you can use switch case also. So first we want to remove our frog from our current index, so our squares and our current index dot class list dot remove a class name frog. Okay, now let's write our condition, and if e dot key is equal to, I'm giving a arrow left, and inside that I'm writing another if condition. So if our current index by modulus our width not equal to 0, then our current index is minus equal to 1. Okay, and I'm going to write our next statement. So else if our e dot key is equal to arrow right, and then I'm writing a if statement if our current index and modulus width is greater than width minus 1. Okay, sorry, it's not greater than, less than width minus 1, and then our current index is plus equal to 1. Now let's check that. Thank you. Making a add event listener and document dot add event listener and our key up, then our function name move frog. Yeah, now let's check that. Sorry, here we want to add our frog square current index dot class list dot add a class name frog. Okay, now let's check that. Yeah, now you can see our frog is moving left and right. Yeah, and now let's create our arrow up and arrow down. So else if our e dot key is equal to arrow up, and write a if statement if our current index minus width greater than or equal to 0, then our current index minus equal to width, and let's write our last statement else if our e dot key is equal to arrow down, and write a statement if our current index plus width is less than width into width, then our current index plus is equal to width. Now let's check that. Yeah, now our frog moving all over our board. Okay, now we want to create our logs and our car. So let's create our class names logs and car, and here I'm creating a class name log1, and this is log2, log3, log4, and this is log5, and our log1, log2, log3, log4, here log5, and log6, sorry, here log1, not log6, log1, and log2, log3, log4, log5, and log1, log2, and log3. Okay, and now let us state that I'm calling for L1 and our L2 and our L3. Okay, and I'm giving a background color brown, and this is our logs, and I'm giving our L4 and our L5 a background color light blue. Now we don't need this. Yeah, and now let's make our car. Here C1, C2, and C3, C1, C2, C3, and like this all C1, C2, C3, and here also that C1, C2, C3, and C1, C1, C2, and C3, and C1, C2, and our C3. Okay, and now we are just take our car. So our C1 background color is black, yeah, and our C2 and C3 background color is gray. C2 and our C3 background color is gray. Let's give a light gray. Okay, yeah, and now we don't need this. So, and now we are going to paste our frog here again, and now we are going to JavaScript, and we are going to move our logs and our car. So first let's create variables for log left, log right, and car left and car right. So let our logs left is equal to, so spelling, yeah, is equal to document dot queryselector all, and our log left. Okay, and I'm going to copy this, yeah, and here is our logs right, and here our car left and our car right, yeah, and here is our log left, sorry, log right, and here is our car, and here is our car right, yeah. Okay, and now we want to create a function move function move. Okay, and inside here we want to loop all over our these variables log left, log right, car left, and car right. Okay, so our first or log left dot for each, and we want to create the log left, and our function name move log left, and a parameter log left. Let's give an argument log left. Okay, and now we are going to move our log left. So function and our function name move log left. Okay, and here we want to write a statement. So if our, before that we want to pass our argument log left. Okay, and if log left dot our class list dot contains L1, then we want to remove our L1 and add L2. So log left dot class list dot remove our L1, and we want to add our L2, sorry, our L2, yeah, and I'm going to copy this, and else if contains L2, now we want to remove our L2 and add L3, and now we are doing this for all our logs. Okay, So I'm going to copy this and paste, and it contains L3. I'm going to remove L3 and add L4, and same here, contains L4. I'm going to remove L4 and add L5. Oh, sorry, we made a mistake here. Add, not remove. Yeah, add. Okay, yeah, just add. Okay, now let's check L2, L2, L3, 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 L4, L4, yeah, and now our log left class is contains L5. You want to remove L5 and add L1. Okay, and now let's check if our log left is moving or not. So let's call set an interval and our move in every 1,000 seconds. Yeah, it's moving. Sorry, we made a mistake here. L2, L4, L4, L5. Here not remove. Yeah, now our log left is moving, and now we are going to move our log right and our car left and our car right, and here we're going to get our log right dot for each, and our log right and function name move log right and a parameter or log right. Okay, and I'm creating this for our car left for each car left function move car left and our car left. Yeah, and I'm making this for our car right. Okay, here car right, change to this right, and here right. Yeah, and now let's move our log right. Okay, and I'm going to copy this. Okay, and before that, here not car left, here car right. And okay, yeah, and I'm going to copy this and paste here and change this to log right. Yeah, log right, and change all this to log right, and here log right, and here we want to change this to L5, and here to L1, and here we want to for L2, and here is L3, sorry, L5, oh sorry, here is L3, and here is L4. Yeah, now it's working, now it's moving. Now our log left is moving to left and our log right is moving to right. Okay, and now we want to move our car, so I'm going to copy this. Let's copy this. Yeah, and change this to car left, and here car left. Yeah, and now let's change this to our car by Control T, and car, and here I'm changing to this to C1, C C C C C, okay, C C C C, yeah, C1 C5, and here C, and turn it to C C and C2. Yeah, now here this is moving. Okay, yes, C1 C1 C2 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 C3 and C3 C3. Here we want to change to C2, sorry, C1, and here we want to change this to C1 C1 our C2, and here C2 C2 C3. Yeah, and our car is moving to left, and now we want to move this to right. Okay, I'm going to copy this and change our function name car right, and our argument right. Okay, and here is C5, sorry, here is C3, and here is our C1, and here is our C2, and here is our C3, and here is our C1, yeah, C3, yeah, I think it's right. Here is C1. Okay, now let's check that. Sorry, we don't change our name here. Yeah, here, right. Yeah, now it's moving and it's working. Okay, now let's take our game over function. Okay, and before that we want to bring our class names result and win. Okay, and now here let's create a function game over. Okay, and our timer is minus minus. Okay, and let's create a condition if our square current index dot class list dot contains L4, or let's copy this and check L5, or let's paste this current index dot class list square contains our C1 C2, sorry, C2, or contains our C3, or our timer is not timer is is, is equal to 0. Then our alert came over, and our result dot text content is equal to game over. Okay, and now we don't need our alert. Yeah, and here we want our time dot text content is equal to timer. Yeah, and now let's set this to an interval. So let timer id is equal to our set interval, our game over in 1 second. Yeah, And now let's check that. So first, yeah, yeah, when we reach in our river, when we touch our river, yeah, here you can see our game is over. Okay, it's working. Yeah, our result is game over. And now we want to make our win function. Before that, we want to set this to variable and let moving. Okay, and here when our game over, we want to stop our moving, our logs and cars moving. So clear interval, our moving. Okay, moving, and we want also clear our timer. Okay, when our game is over, we don't want to time. Okay, so timer id. Now let's check that. Yeah, when the card tells us our game is over, yeah, our time is stopped. Yes, this is our result, and our logs are also stopped. Now let's check our win function. So function win, and here if our square current index dot class list dot contains our engine block. So let's check class name. Yeah, end block. When our frog reaches our end block, now then we want to win. So when it happen, so our result dot text content is equal to you won. Okay, yeah, you won. And here other you won. Yeah, and before calling this function, we are going to set our win and game over function inside a game win or over function. Okay, so let's create function win or loss. Inside that, we're calling our game over and our win. Okay, and here we are going to cut this, and here change this to win or lose. Yeah, now it's working. Okay, now let's check our win function is working or not. Yeah, we reach here. Yeah, you won. So we can remove this annoying. Yeah, now check our winner. uh, yeah, where is this? Yeah, when we reach here, you can see you won, we win. Okay, and this was only today's video, so we can see in next video. Hope this video helped you a lot. So bye.